And we are live. What's going on, everybody? I am Adam. This is Highly Articulated. This is episode 100, which is wild and crazy. And I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. I was sort of building up to this thinking like episode 100 is going to be a big deal. I'm going to make a big deal about it. And then just with all the other things that have been going on, I didn't plan anything different. I didn't do anything extra. I didn't, I don't have a co-host or anything like that. And I find that maybe that's indicative of sort of where I'm at with the channel right now. So, if you've been watching for a while, you know that I've been very busy. I've been a little I don't know. My drive, my motivation to sort of do the show hasn't been what it once was. I think there's a whole bunch of great channels that are doing a lot of the things that I kind of set out to do initially. And not that it's because of me that any of this is happening or anything like that. But there's more people talking about Animal Wars of the Kingdom, which I'll continue to do. But there's more people sort of talking about indie stuff. There's sort of channels that weren't talking about indie stuff that are talking more about indie stuff now. There are people that are like, this space is just it's really, really crowded. So my point is, this is episode 100. I'm gonna stop numbering the episodes, and I'm gonna stop committing to doing them every week. I do have one planned for next week. It is May the 4th, of course. So that's a no-brainer. But I've been sort of feeling like I needed to do this every Sunday. Not because it's an obligation, but because it's sort of numbered episodes, and it just sort of kind of perpetuates itself, and it was sort of just this thing where every Sunday I sort of got zoned in and sort of did the thing. But I find myself sort of less and less connected to the news cycle, and less connected to sort of what I was sort of pushing for and sort of excited about before. And even preparing for today, just thinking that there weren't as many toys that I was excited for. I'm really excited about the business end of things. I'm very excited about continuing to work with Jason and Spiro Toys. We're still working behind the scenes. Nameless Toy Company is still working behind the scenes on Space Zombies from Mars, which will come back at some point, better than ever, and hopefully fun, and then we'll actually make the toys. But I just I don't I don't know. This is starting to feel I don't know how to explain it or describe it. I feel like I'm not doing enough with this, and I feel like sometimes I show up, and I feel like sometimes people show up to watch, and they're more invested in this than I am, I guess, in some ways, on any given Sunday. And so, I have some ideas for some other things that I want to do. I think I might still do the odd, unboxing video on a Wednesday night, or recorded ones. As I said, I'll still, this will still be the time slot that I use when I do Sundays. Um, but, um, but it may not be as regularly scheduled, and so I think episode 100, basically episode 100 of Highly Articulated, is going to sort of be the final chapter in this volume, or this season of the channel. So stay tuned for more. When I know more than than the fact that I'm not going to regularly schedule things, I will let you guys know. But I'm still going to be around. I'm still going to be involved. You're still going to hear from me. Like I said, we're still going to be doing monkey business every, once a month. And as I've mentioned before, there's sort of a kind of series of videos, I guess, that I want to do, that would be potentially, another Sunday of the month. So really, we're talking about, a couple Sundays a month that I won't be doing things. But anyways, let me say hello to the chat. Mr. Ryan Clark is here, says congrats on the 100th episode. Mr. Ryan Clark, who is just become a new member, is probably thinking like, oh man, this is the wrong time. Anyways, that's fine. I'll try to do something. And if I really, membership, whatever, I never promoted. I definitely appreciate it. It's awesome that people care enough, to hang out and to chat and stuff like that. But we are still going to be doing, the Animal Warrior of the Kingdom stuff. And more stuff going forward. I think it's just, maybe I'm just personally in a weird cycle where sort of I'm losing interest in certain lines, certain brands, certain things, and I might just not be as engaged right now. Maybe that's the thing. There's tons of great toys, and maybe it's just me. Um, but maybe it's the sunny weather outside too. Nolan is here. Brick something is here. Christopher Bouchard is in the chat. Lumix is in the chat. Let's see. Red 5. Did I already say Red 5? Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. It says, congratulations. Glad to be here and see your channel grew. You're doing a great job. Yeah. Ryan says, great timing on my part. Absolutely. Raypad says, congrats. Thank you. I appreciate it. So the weird thing with the 100 is, like, it feels a little bit like comic book numbering, right? Where, so I read X-Men, and X-Men is like currently going through another like weird revision where they're canceling a bunch of books. So they have like numbers on the issues, but then they have like legacy dollars, and then it's sort of like, but does it include everything? And so it's episode 100 of Highly Articulated, but we've done like 26 or something episodes of Monkey Business, and I don't include any of the unboxing videos or any sort of videos outside of the Highly Articulated thing. I didn't include the zombie one, so it's like I've done a couple hundred videos. So it kind of feels in a weird way, and this is maybe just more a reflection of me, is that, like, it's episode 100 of this kind of format. um but it's, I don't know, it doesn't feel any different. It just feels like a normal Sunday afternoon, and talking about toys, stuff like that. But that's what you guys are here for anyway. You're here to talk about toys. And we will do that. I've got some toys I want to talk about, some things I want to talk about. And who knows? Maybe I'll do a giveaway. I got a couple figures next to me that I might even give away if I'm so inclined. If I feel like it. I probably will, because they're there already. So why wouldn't I? But all right. Yeah, this is it. Now you have to kill a character and reboot with a fresh number 1 for the sales spike. Yeah, I hate that. And that's the thing. It's like, I kind of, it's maybe that's what it is too. I'm like, episode 100, I feel like the quality of this show has gone downhill. It has not gotten better. And maybe that's part of what I'm sort of just like a little bit annoyed with myself about, is that I admittedly just have not had the time to do certain things that I've wanted to do. I've wanted to do an intro video. I've wanted to sort of improve the format of the show, and sort of do more stuff with the member stuff. And I'll be perfectly honest and completely transparent. Um, Between my normal Monday to Friday work, my work for Spiro Toys, my work for the Nameless Toy Company, or my work on the Nameless Toy Company, I guess. I don't work for them. I am them. And then family. I just, I haven't had the time to invest in this channel what I think what I think it deserves. That's where I'm kind of torn about what the future holds. So um, I love doing this. I mean, I love hanging out and talking toys. But I I think not being beholden to a sort of set schedule might reignite the fun in it in some way. So that's kind of where I'm at. Let's see. Mr. Ryan Clark, don't hold back. This is, I mean, I'm not the guy that you, you need to hold back with. Brick says, when's giant size number one? I don't know. That's the thing, right? Like, I don't know. And that's a good point, right? Or it's a good question, or it's sort of, it sort of leads to a segue or a tangent or whatever. It's sort of like, when does this format become stale? Is issue 187 relevant? Does anybody care anymore? That's where it's sort of like, I mean, giant size X-Men reset in a really good way, but it doesn't always work that way. But anyways, Justin says it's your channel. Do what you feel comfortable with. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I think that's. I guess I feel. I genuinely appreciate everybody and anybody that watches the show, whether they watch it once, whether they watch it every week, whether they put trolling comments on a replay or whatever. I appreciate everybody, and so I don't want, I don't want to just sort of, I don't want the channel to just sort of, devolve into like nothing, and people just, I don't know. I just want people to know, where I'm at, and sort of what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling, and sort of where I'm gonna be and what I'm gonna be doing, because I don't want anybody to like worry about like, where is he? It's Sunday and we're not doing it. Um, but yeah. Um, yeah. That's just, I'm gonna do what I want. I'm gonna do what I want. And I think just getting rid of the number and getting rid of the idea that it's sort of regularly scheduled. I might pick a different time too. I might do this format on a Wednesday night. I might do it on a Sunday night. I know Sundays are super busy. Um, it normally goes me, Brick, and then you have your pick between a bunch of people Sunday evening. I've thought maybe I'll go Sunday night, maybe I'll do Wednesday night, but I think ultimately what it comes down to is, I think I'm gonna do it when it makes sense. I think I'm gonna do it when there's something I want to talk about. Uh, Next Sunday is May the 4th. I'm gonna just talk about Star Wars next week. That's what I want to talk about, and that's a lot of what I'm going to talk about this week too. Um, and so I think, I just don't, I'm not. This is gonna sound weird, but a year ago, I had my finger on the pulse of a whole bunch of different lines, and I was sort of paying attention to the news cycles, and I was like really up to date. And um I find that I'm not there. I don't know. I don't know, what's in the pipeline for most companies anymore if it's not companies that I'm working with. And I'm buying less stuff too. So it's sort of like I'm a little bit less excited about that stuff, because I'm not, actively buying as many GI Joes. I'm not actively buying as much stuff. So it feels a little bit, again, I guess on some level it feels disingenuous to sort of talk about and really like hype up things that I'm not buying or not interested in. So Mr. Ryan Clark, who got Ganesha this week? I put up my photo post today. I did not. And again, this is I haven't mentioned Ganesha at all. I think it's a great figure. I think it's fantastic. There's certainly an elephant that I'm very excited about. And when that elephant shows up, I'll definitely be doing a video. So it's kind of like, that's where I'm at. I don't want to talk about something and sort of disingenuously be like, oh, you got to go buy this. It's amazing. On and on and on. That's not me. So, Josh, no, not breaking up. It's just, we need some space. We need some time apart. I don't know. We're taking things too fast. No, I'm just kidding. Let's talk about some toys instead, because now I just feel silly talking about that stuff. I want to talk about. I feel silly talking about that stuff. So let's instead talk about this stuff that's not silly in the slightest. Hasbro is doing a Mr. Potato Head Dungeons and Dragons crossover in the form of a Mr. Potato Head beholder that of course has 10 arms with eyeballs on the end, interchangeable single, Cyclops style eyes, a set of glasses or a glass, I don't know, a handbag though as well, just because you want to do Miss Potato Beholder, the tongue, like the iconic Mr. Potato Head tongue, the lips as well. They are missing like hair or a lady's hat to go with the purple eye and the handbag, but I do think this is pretty awesome. Full disclosure, I will not be buying this because I don't have room for this, but I sort of came across this when I was prepping, when I was going through different news on a couple different sites. And this is actually this photo's pulled off Toy News International, Toy Newsy as I like to call it, as is actually nothing else that I'm going to be talking about. I pulled my other pictures from Toy Arc. But this is just fun, and I mean, I feel like I'm leaning more and more in towards like this kind of stuff, and like stuff that most people that are watching the channel wouldn't be interested in or wouldn't expect or whatever. So it's kind of just like I don't know, I'm more interested in stupid shit like this right now. Anyways, Larry says happy 100 episodes. Thank you. Yes, it is a little bit bittersweet. If you missed the beginning, feel free to go back. Collecting Brother said, did you also see the Godzilla Mr. Potato Head? I you know what, I didn't, but now I'm gonna look it up. I know that there's been like Star Wars Mr. Potato Head and stuff like that. I suppose I could probably look at the Godzilla Mr. Potato Head later, so I don't have to like type and be distracted while I'm doing that. I'll just start that comment. No, I think this kind of thing is just super fun, and I think if you're if you're just sort of a general toy collector, if you just like to sort of collect curiosities and things like that, then a Beholder Mr. Potato Head or a Godzilla Mr. Potato Head is awesome. Or if you're just a Godzilla collector, or if you're just a Dungeons and Dragons guy, my big problem with this, or my only problem with this, and I don't really have a problem with it because I'm not buying it anyway. My nitpick with this is that it is it's like 3 inches, so it's like a miniature version of a Mr. Potato Head rather than like a normal sized Mr. Potato Head, which I think is unfortunate. I think it would be cooler. I like that one, mustached grinning evil beholder. I think it's it's really, really cool, but I think it should be full sized and it should be compatible with other Mr. Potato Heads. Now I want to try to find that Star Wars one because I think it was normal size. But anyway, because I'm just, like I said, I'm just leaning into that stuff now. Brick said, is Potato Head the original pop and swap figure? Fun fact, you used to have to bring your own potato. Yes, it was just things that plugged into a potato. I don't know if it's the original pop and swap. I would suspect that it's probably pretty darn close. But then again, Mr. Potato Head goes back so far that I don't even know the answer to that, and I can't begin to speculate whether Mr. Potato Head was the original Pop and Swap figure. Now, for anybody that didn't know, and I don't know how you could have found your way here and not known this, but last week in Japan was, of course, the Star Wars celebration. And Hasbro had a bunch of big reveals. Everybody had lots of big reveals for Star Wars stuff, but Hasbro had a bunch of reveals for Black Series, a bunch of reveals for the Vintage Collection. They had an exclusive con figure that you can now buy on Hasbro Pulse, which is kind of, again, if it's going to be exclusive, you should make it exclusive. And there's a bunch of really cool stuff in this. So this is sort of all the reveals that they had, more or less. One's missing from this, and it's actually my favorite thing that they revealed. That I'm probably the most likely to buy of all these things, which I will get to in a moment. And again, this is part of the reason where episode 100 is sort of the last that I'm putting a bookend on this one. But Kelly is here. Imperious Rex cosplay at Toy Photography says just landed after partying at Calgary Expo, just in time to say happy 100th episode. Thank you for that, Kelly. Good to see you. Good to hear that you made it back safe. All right. So we've got okay, Mr. Ryan Clark, the Japanese only packing was the exclusive part. Okay, that's cool. If you're an inbox collector, I suppose that wouldn't have made much difference to me, because I think the packaging is still pretty wild for that figure. But anyways, we got a bunch of cool stuff from Black Series, and then a bunch of cool stuff from Vintage Collection there, and then the exclusive on the end. Nothing that really speaks to me. I mean, the Cal Kestis and the Frogman. I played literally like an hour of whatever that game is called. I don't even remember what it's called. So I don't have too much of a sort of vested interest in those figures. I very, very nearly pre-ordered that box set just because that frog guy is so cool. And then I was like, okay, I really don't need that. And if I'm complaining about, space problems and stuff like that, I certainly don't need it. Dash Rendar is cool. The Prince Zizor, Dash, there's a few more figures that are very near and dear to my heart from that original Kenner run from what was it called now? Rise Dark. I can't remember. Not a real Star Wars fan, so I can't remember. Even the New Hope Han and Chewie look fantastic. But I only do Return of the Jedi Endor stuff. Now, the Bantha with the Tusken Raider is that's a tough one to resist. I'll be perfectly honest, because I think that one kind of fits in with Cyberzoic. I think I didn't pre-order it yet, and I'm not 100% planning on pre-ordering it. If it were ever to go on sale, I would probably pick it up. I'll be totally honest. I really want one, but I don't need one. And I'm really, really trying to make an effort of, when I say that, meaning it, and not then sort of a day later, a week later, going to pre-ordering it. Collecting Brother says Turgle is so fun. I'm pretty sure Turgle is the frog guy, but I don't even know. Mr. Ryan Clark, who's the gray-faced lady? She's from a video game, apparently. She's a Night Sister, I think. So she's sort of like a magic force user, kind of bad girl. And John says that's Marin. Okay, there you go. It's Marin. And Brick says Marin. Yeah, so there you go. It's Marin. I don't know who she is. But she's Marin. Let's here, let me switch to this one and we can we'll take a closer look at this stuff. So this box set is phenomenal. I mean, you get Frog Man, you get Cal Kestis with a mullet and a mustache, and a revolver, it looks like. Again, I didn't play the game. These guys look great too. You know, his little droid that's on his adventure with him. It was super fun, and I really like that design. I think this guy's called like Scuba Steve or something, and he's like a snail guy in a spacesuit. I don't even know. I want it. I want this suit, or I want this set. But I don't need this set, and so I'm not buying it. But look how great that guy is. And you know, look how great the frog guy is. But again, don't need, shouldn't get it. He is not much articulation in Frogman, which is fine. Since I'm not buying it, I'm not too upset about it. But I'm just gonna sort of rip through all these pictures. So there you go. He's even got a starfish on his helmet. Um, I don't know where he comes up in the game or what he does or anything like that, but Cal, so this is like the what, third Cal Kestis figure that we've gotten from Black Series, maybe even fourth if I'm not mistaken. But there you go. The mustache and the mullet. I don't know. I mean, it's just funny. And if I was doing more Black Series stuff, I'd definitely pick this guy up. This set I think is just a ton of fun. This would be a rule of cool purchase. And again, if this, at some point 6 months from now is deeply discounted on Amazon, I got a few extra bucks, I could see myself picking this up for sure. Because yeah, just he's just fun. A New Hope, Chewbacca. I okay, I have the Return of Jedi Chewbacca. I don't know what the difference is, and I know that there's differences, and I know that's paint apps. People go, oh, it's got a new sculpt. What this part is new or different. I just need one Chewbacca, and I'm good. And I've got one Chewbacca, so I'm good. He looks great. This is a great action figure, in my opinion. I just don't need it. This is a helmet that you can buy. Is this 501st? I don't know. I don't keep track of yeah, 501st. I don't really keep track of clone troopers. I don't know. I don't remember all the different divisions or legions or whatever. Dash looking like what's his name? The prince from Shrek. You can't not see it, or you can't unsee it once you've seen it. So sorry for that if you hadn't sort of seen that already. I'm trying to just rip through these because, to be honest, I want to go back and look at something else. Where is it? You got Han, you got Marin, that's her name. This okay, so I want to look at this because this figure looks fantastic. The two figures together. The episode of Star Wars Visions, if you haven't seen it, definitely worth checking out. Very, very cool. There's some cool lore stuff in there that kind of, I thought was really, really cool. The fact that his lightsaber, the blade doesn't retract, the blade is always out. So he actually has like a sheath for it. He has to sort of put it away, samurai style, because it's damaged. The lightsaber hilt is damaged, and so it can't effectively it can't turn off. So you can see there, the hilt of the lightsaber, and he actually puts it in a sword sheath. This R5 unit with the hat and it's just cool. The little ropes around his feet. I love that it's black and white to match the episode. I don't know if I would like this more if it was colored, maybe. I just because you get the blade is colored and you get, the little rocket effects there that are colored. This is a great set. And I'm like, I had it in my cart and then I took it out of the cart. I don't I'm really torn on this one for a number of reasons. I love Star Wars. I love samurai stuff. I love the lore that's like built into this episode and this character and stuff. I think we're getting more of this character or of the I didn't follow Celebration too closely, but it sort of sounded like we might be getting more of this. You get a wired cape. The reviews for this figure have been amazing. Um, so I don't know. Again, if this got discounted 100%, I would probably buy this. But I think it's like $70 or something like that. And for $70, I can get a lot of churros at Disneyland. So as I said a couple weeks ago, I think I'm just gonna become a Disneyland person and not buy any more toys. Um, but yeah, he just looks fantastic. That would just I mean, it just looks so good in the pictures, and I think, these pictures, just because of this figure, the way it's designed and sculpted and stuff like that, I think you could easily get it to look like that on your shelf. The packaging, as I said, is phenomenal. There was celebration specific packaging. Was the celebration specific packaging, was it where this is white, was it black or something? I can't remember. Um but yeah, it looks fantastic, like just really cool. Reminds me so much of like Kurosawa stuff, which Kurosawa's films are amazing, and I mean they inspired a lot of Star Wars stuff, and certainly must have inspired this particular episode of Star Wars Visions. um on the side there it says Ronin, which is very cool. Yeah, just love this. Love the figure, love the packaging. The Bantha. Okay, I already have the vintage collection Boba Fett in the sort of Tusken Raider look. So I would just put him on this Bantha. The furry Bantha, articulated mouth. It just this is cool. But I don't need it. I think that was pretty much it. That's all I don't I don't need to go on about, all this kind of stuff. What I do want to talk about, because this is more up my alley right now, is this. So for anybody that wasn't aware, when I recently went to WonderCon to work for Spiro, I sort of doubled down on my trip and went to Disney as well. Went to Savvy's workshop, which is where you build your own lightsaber, which was super fun and a really cool experience. And I would say if you are a Star Wars fan and you have the opportunity, is well worth it. But uh, there's a kyber crystal inside the saber. But you can buy after the fact. You can buy kyber crystals, like separate kyber crystals, that look like that out of the package. I'm too small; you can't see it anyway. But I thought that was really cool. And we have, for years, we've had a ton of the extendable lightsabers, like this one is, and a couple of them are the electronic kind of light up ones. But this is a set now that is like an electronic light up set that very much reminds me of what you get from Savvy's workshop. So you now get an assortment of kyber crystals. Those kyber crystals allow you to sort of light the blade in different colors. You can even do combinations. So you can put two kyber crystals in there to get even more colors and sort of different effects. And then there's a rundown of like, what the different kyber crystal colors mean. And I don't know if it's, yeah, that just there's not a huge breakdown of them, but you do get sort of like what they are: Jedi Master Stone, Solari Crystal. What's really cool is they actually include the Arabesh down at the bottom there. So for anybody that's learning Arabesh, you can you can you can learn a little bit more Arabesh. But yeah, I think this is a really cool set. This is designed as a set for kids. I like that it's sort of leaning more into the lore, and leaning more into some sort of different ideas. But yeah, this is interests me more than anything that Black Series or um of what Black Series or Vintage Collection is doing. This is more what I lean towards right now. So I'm very excited for this set. Um, let's see what else. Let me jump back into the chat here because I've been completely ignoring you guys. Not ignoring you. You know what I mean. John says she was about Marin. She was a Night Sister and survived the General Grievous massacre of the Night Sisters. She teams up with Cal. Okay, so I bet that is in Jedi Survivor 2, or is that what it's called? I think. Cool. Gatey's Toys, thank you so much. Good to have you. Teams up might be a euphemism. It was probably the mullet. Ryan Clark says there's a Star Wars character called Steve. Did the random name generator malfunction? Brick says Stev. Scuba Stev. John said they did an amazing job on Dash. I think it looks very much like on brand. I mean, it looks pretty much perfect. Rick Jones says Yakface has a lot of leaks for next Sunday. Oh, I don't want to look at them. I don't like. I'm going to after this, not during this. I will look after. I do know. Well, it's not a. I mean, it's not a spoiler, but their Disney store is doing a mouse droid that I really really want. Tune in next Sunday to see if I ordered myself a mouse droid. And there's like a couple other things that I've seen. I've seen already a couple of the leaks for Black Series. But yeah, I don't know what else is coming, but we'll see. Let's see. Thank you, Gabrielle. I appreciate that. Thank you, Thanos, as well. Let's see. Brick Something says those Kyber crystal names are some deep nerd Easter eggs. So if you mean these ones in the set, you're absolutely right. But if you actually like these ones, the ones that you buy at like Disney parks, which I should have bought more of, because I didn't open them until I got home. But this one's not going to be a surprise, right? You got a purple Kyber crystal. That's a Mace Windu Kyber crystal. But where is it? This one. So you get a white crystal, and this Kyber crystal is Kryn. I can't even remember the name. Kryn, basically, who is what's his name? Ice-T's son, who played Ice-T in the NWA movie, who was a Jedi in I can't remember what. I think maybe the Acolyte. I can't even remember, but like there's some deep cut names that they attach to those Kyber crystals. And I think if you put those Kyber crystals into like the Sith holocron or the Wayfinder, you actually hear the voices that are on the names of the Kyber crystals. Anyways, that's I'm not talking about those. I might talk about those next week. Rick Jones says, hope you like Revenge of the Sith. Sure. Is that directed to me or somebody else? I do like Revenge of the Sith. I'm trying to figure out how to get to the theater to watch it. But I just haven't had time. I'm very, very lucky and thankful that where I live, it's actually playing for a few extra days. So I'm probably either going to go tomorrow or Tuesday. Brick Something says the Hasbro ones are Easter eggs. They reference ore and stuff. Yes, yeah. They're and it's really cool. And like I said, I think for anybody that that says kids aren't into this kind of thing, go and buy your kids this thing and push this on them. Get them to understand why this is cool. Get them to understand what these deep cuts are about, because I think that's the big issue is that this is not being handed down to future generations. iPads are being handed off to future generations. There's not a criticism to anybody. People are busy, people have different lives, so on and so forth. But if you can engage with kids and talk about your passions, um, they'll be much more inclined to be interested in them than if you kind of keep that to yourself. That's it. That's my rant. Um, Kids love when adults explain why something is cool. Well, no, I don't know if you're being facetious, but when I read that, I was like, yeah, maybe they don't like adults explaining what's cool to them. Steve Buscemi comes to mind when I read that comment. Brick something says role playing stuff is still a hit with kiddos. Action figures are a bit iffy. Yeah, I think I think on some level that's true. My kids still play with action figures though, so I don't know. Maybe my kids are weird. I don't know what I did to be lucky enough that my kids still want action figures. Christopher Bouchard, did you like Andor season 2? I love Andor season 2 so far. I can't wait for Tuesday so that I can watch the next 3 episodes. I love that they're doing it in 3 episode chunks so that you have a little bit of time to digest it. Also, I love that they're doing it in 3 episode chunks because that way, even if I don't watch all those episodes on Tuesday, I can still be fully caught up before, the next cycle, the next story arc. It seems to me like what they're going to do in these sort of chunks of 3 episodes is do the years. So initially, let me take this down. Initially, what I think they were saying that they were going to do was each season of Andor was effectively going to be 1 year in the 5 years leading up to Rogue One. And so, okay, and I'll get to why I'm speculating on this, and it's probably common knowledge. Um, so it is this. Okay, so then I'm just gonna sound like an idiot for saying this. But I think what they're gonna do, as somebody that didn't watch any of the trailers and hasn't read any of the press releases or anything like that, is that initially they were going to do 5 seasons and each season was going to be 1 year. But now, just because of time constraints and because of how much it costs to make it, how long it takes to make it, and how actors aren't available, for years and years and years and years to make these series, I think, and Brick confirmed that this is true. I think they're going to do like 1 year per 3 episodes. So they even said like for BBY, at the I think the beginning of episode 1, and then I guess they'll say 3 BBY at the end, or at the beginning of episode 4, and then so on and so forth for each chunk. I think it's fantastic. I think it's great. I think you still get the same effect. I think you still get the same. I will say this selfishly. I wish we would have gotten 5 seasons of Andor, because I think it's phenomenal and I love it. And I think it is really, really good Star Wars content. And I think it's adding a lot to the lore. And I think that what it seems like, and they've probably already confirmed this. So, I'm an idiot, but my suspicion is that they're going to add depictions of events that we know have occurred. Things that make the Empire look worse than we've ever seen on film. Yes, we saw, the destruction of planets by the Death Star in A New Hope, and so right off the jump, the Empire was bad, and we knew that. But I think what we're seeing, especially in Andor, because it is more geared towards a more mature audience, is just how vile and despicable and just outright terrible not only the Empire is, but sort of the people within the Empire. Just how ruthless and merciless they are, and how there's no there's no hesitation, there's nothing that will stand in the way of the ambition of the Empire. And we all thought Palpatine was terrible, but I mean, we're seeing a lot of terrible people. And I think it's great. I love Andor. To answer your question, do you like Andor? No, I love it. I want more. But I love Skeleton Crew. and I liked a lot Acolyte. I like all Star Wars. It's all part of it. Um, and next week for May the 4th, I'm going to reflect a little bit more on my sort of Star Wars journey. I've been thinking about it a lot since I went to Star Wars Land at Disneyland. About sort of why do I love it so much, and I, you know, I'm going to talk about this more next week, but I didn't realize how much impact Star Wars had on sort of who I am, in terms of like certain things. But I'll talk more about that next Sunday. Mr. Ryan Clark says, I don't collect Star Wars, but I keep up with the live action media, and Andor is amazing. Yeah, I think objectively, even if you're not a Star Wars fan, Andor is something that people can still get into and still appreciate, because it is truly just a fantastic show. Brian Brink, happy 100. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Alberto Morales, happy 100. Uh, Kelly says, I never turned down an opportunity to have a lightsaber duel and win against kids. Yes, and I got some actual like proper dueling sabers that light up from WonderCon, and they are so much fun. And with a little bit of knowledge of kendo, um I'm kind of showing my kids, some like proper technique and like some proper form. So it's fun, and that's what I'm loving right now. Bix could have a spin-off series. A lot of people could have spin-off series. I think, if time and money weren't an option, as collectors, we always think if space and money weren't an issue. If time and money weren't an issue, I think I would watch all of it. I would want all of it. I would want a whole series of that Ronin anime. I'd want a whole season of Ferrex. Just stories that are not connected in any way to Star Wars as such, but like just tell me more about Ferrex. I have watched two movies completely about Andor. I would watch a movie completely about Kashyyyk. I would watch a movie completely about pick a planet, and I would probably watch it. Mr. Ryan Clark says Andor shows the effect of the Empire on the population, which has never really been explored. Yes, 100%. There's no Jedi, there's no lightsabers. This isn't the grand dramatic, space opera. This is, what does it mean to actually have to live in this? What does it mean to be sort of oppressed and under the thumb of these people? The Minas Rao, I think, is the name of the planet that Andor and his merry gang are hanging out in, season 2. Hiding out. And the Empire comes to do a random audit, and they're everybody's worried, and it's not just the people being audited. There's a lot of illegal immigrants, clearly, and people run and they say, oh, they got caught because they ran. You can't run. You have to kind of just hope that they don't look close enough at your papers and all this kind of stuff. There's so much that's relevant in Andor season 2, which is unfortunate right now, because I don't know that they could have anticipated that. But all the relevance aside, it really is sort of shining a light on what was happening on the ground when everything was going on the Death Star. It just I know that they're different timelines, or different sort of times in the timeline, same timeline, only a few years off. But anyways, you get what I mean. It's tough, man. Brick says, parallel to, it's what Luthen said, I'm doomed to use the tools of my enemy, etc. So we'll continue to see rebels do bad things, and that makes Rose's words in The Last Jedi a necessary reminder. Yeah, that's a good, they're trying not to become the monsters that they're fighting against, right? That's the hard part. Don't fight the things you hate, fight for the things you love. Yes, absolutely. And that's, yeah, again, and again, you know, a lot, and I'll talk about this too probably next week because I've been thinking about what I'm going to do for May the 4th. Luke Skywalker is my favorite Star Wars character, and I know that seems like such a like a kind of a juvenile thing. I was 5 when I first was introduced to Luke Skywalker, and sort of as a result, I've always loved Luke Skywalker. I've always, you know, at 5, I didn't get a lot of the nuance. I only saw, you know, the light side. I only saw the good in Luke Skywalker. Um, and that's very much, you know, where my, you know, heart is, I guess. You know, fight for the things you love. Don't fight the things you hate. That it doesn't, it will only bring you down to that level. And I don't, I that's I don't want to go there. You know, I don't. What does Yoda say in Return of the Jedi? You know, once you start down the path to the dark side, you can't come back. There's no, and then, you know, we see Anakin, Anakin's sort of retribution, sort of. But is that enough? You know, I don't know. We could have that debate another time. Solo Sinner, I see your chat, and I will get to it. You're crazy. Um, Jeffrey says, I like the Acolyte too. However, I wasn't a fan of them killing off characters left and right. Like, how can you even grow attached to them when they die 2 episodes later? Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really attached to most of those characters, to be honest. And I think I I had a lot of, you know, nitpicks with that series, but I still enjoyed it as Star Wars. I still enjoyed seeing, you know, a little bit of the High Republic. I'm just not as invested in the High Republic. Is quite honestly, like, that's 80% of you know, my sort of take on the Acolyte, or sort of like maybe 80% of what I didn't like about the Acolyte is that I didn't really care. I wasn't invested. Um, you know, it wasn't even Jedi that we knew from, you know, the sequel trilogy, right? So it was just it felt a little too disconnected to the rest of Star Wars for me. And I know that's what it was supposed to be, but for that reason, I just wasn't as invested in it. Uh, yeah, the High Republic to me just feels a little too. Um, it reminds me too much of like, you know, King Arthur. Like, it just feels like it's a little. It doesn't feel the same. It doesn't have the same draw for me personally, which is, you know, I didn't dislike the Acolyte. I just didn't like it as much as some other things. Um, because it felt old, which is what it was supposed to be. Anyway, Solo Sinner with the $100 super chat. That's, I feel bad. I feel bad that you send these super chats my way, because I don't feel like I deserve this at all. But there's no way that I can refund it, so I'll take it and say thank you, thank you, thank you. Solo Center says, congrats on 100 episodes. That's awesome. Maybe get yourself some black and white samurai Star Wars action figure sets or something. This will go to a good cause. I will. Solo. I will reach out to you. I'll tell you what I'm going to use this money for. 100%. I will tell you. Well, no, I'll tell you right now. Since we got back from Disneyland, all we have been thinking about is how to get back to Disneyland. This is going to get used to build another droid for sure, because I let my kids build droids and I didn't build myself a droid, and now I really want my own droid. And I already know, I've already picked out which parts I'm going to do and everything like that. So that's what that's going to go to. So I appreciate you, buddy. You really shouldn't have. Larry Reed is here. Jeff Morris is here as well. Or Jeff Morris says, wow. Oh, to Solos chat. That's bonkers, man. I don't feel like I deserve it. Like I said. Brian Brink says Andor is a good watch, even if you're not a Star Wars fan, just like Penguin is a good watch, even if you don't follow DC. Yes. And I Penguin, I haven't watched the Penguin. I haven't watched the first few episodes of the season 2 of The Last of Us, which I absolutely loved the first season, and I can't wait to watch it. But I have so much other stuff going on. Star Wars is dope. Hope dope. Yes. Yes. Brian Brink says Luke whined a lot. 5-year-olds definitely identify with him. Yeah, that's true. Rick Jones says don't drink in super chat. Hello, Allison. Good to have you. Allison Troy has been a channel member for 18 months. That's the other thing. I can't believe that I've done so little with member stuff in 18 months. You guys deserve better. Like way better. And a $2 super chat from Allison Troy. Thank you, Allison. You definitely do not owe me anything. The super chat is very generous. I appreciate it. And Brick says, yeah, the High Republic Jedi by that time were a fractured institution, easy target for Plagueis and Sidious. And Solo says, that's great. Experiences for the win. Yes, that's what I'm leaning more towards. What I realized recently is that every time I talk about the space danger, I have the solution to the space danger. Just stop buying stuff. Just stop buying more figures. There's a few characters, from a few different lines that I still want and that I still need. But by and large, what do I still need that I don't have? The answer is, an Animal Warriors of the Kingdom elephant and a lion and a wolf and some cyberzoic dinosaurs, some space zombies from Mars. But by and large, like for a lot of the IPs that I love, I've got most of the stuff that I need. So now I'm kind of going, in a bit of a different direction. So, anyways, should I give something away? Do you guys want me to do a giveaway? I've got, I got a few things that I can give away. What I'm thinking that I will give away is a G.I. Joe Classified Series Snow Serpent. So I've got that I can give away because I forgot that I had it, and if I forget that I have it, then I probably don't need to hold on to it. And then I've got so I think I'll do 2 giveaways, and I'll try to do them quickly so that I don't run out of time or just and I didn't I don't know what people, I don't know what's cool. I don't know what I should do, what I should be giving away. So I have an Animal Wars of the Kingdom Vero Atlas. This was the Kickstarter exclusive that currently you can only get at conventions. But what I'll do for the Animal Warriors of the Kingdom giveaway is I will either give away this Vero Atlas or it'll be a winner's choice, and they'll just have to let me know which one they want. I've got Vero Atlas, or I have got the now sold out Wave 1 Pale in Adventure Armor, the OG, my favorite Animal Warriors of the Kingdom figure, or a Blight that Jason signed. That's Jason Bienvenu's signature right there. This is a figure that he knew he was sending to me, and he signed it, and I don't know why. I had always intended to just open it as a figure, but I have not been able to bring myself to open it because he signed it, and so I feel like maybe I just, if somebody wants that, that you can win that, and I'll send it to you with Jason's signature. I think signatures are funny and weird, but I've also signed things for people, so I'll do the Snow Serpent, and then I'll do the AWOC kind of winner's choice. Here, let me I gotta make sure that I'm spelling this correctly because my brain doesn't work when I'm doing these videos. Okay, so for the first one, I will do this. So for the first one, I'm gonna do the Snow Serpent. And the Snow Serpent is gonna be hashtag serpent. Here, how do I? Oh, I do this. There we go. I've never. This is the other thing. This is why I'm so bad at this, and this is why I feel terrible being 100 episodes in and realizing I've never done this. I've never have I ever done one of these draws, one of these ones that are built in to StreamYard. I just never took the literal 2 minutes to learn how to do this. So there it is. So that is for the Snow Serpent. We'll chat for about 5 more minutes, and then I'll draw for that one and ship them out, you know, as soon as I can. But yeah, let's see here. Let's see. Ray Pass says the OG is sold out. Yes, there is. So it's sold out online. There's a few left. Like there's a handful of them left. But yeah, the original Wave 1 Pale is sold out. Now, Gladiator Pale is still available. Necro Armor Pale is coming in Wave 5. And there's another version of Pale that's going to come out later, which nobody knows about. I think including Brick. So you know you're still gonna get Pale, right? Like Pale is our Luke Skywalker. You're gonna get way more versions than you necessarily want if you've been collecting from the beginning. But if you haven't been collecting from the beginning, Wave 1 Pale is now for all intents and purposes sold out. You might be able to pick them up at a convention or something like that, but yeah, not available online probably ever again. Let's see. Mr. Ryan Clark says experiences are more fulfilling than stuff. That said, I still want stuff. And I say I want the experiences. I still want a droid, right? Like I got the lightsaber. I still want a droid. Like I'm not saying I'm never gonna buy more stuff. I'm not saying that I would ever be able to live as like a minimalist, because I just enjoy this stuff too much. I just have so much stuff that I just don't need much more stuff. Let's see. And Solo Center says, yeah, sight set on Awok Wolf. Now that we have the birds, rabbits, and females locked in, looking forward to those for sure. Yeah, all of them. I need all of them. Vero and Blight S tier. Yeah, I was sort of going through and I was like, okay, what figures do I have? What figures are even in the line? And this is a result of listening to the Tribe over on Saturday Morning Collector this morning. They were talking about, their favorite figures from the first 4 waves. And I was like, there's not a bad figure. You can't, like, there isn't an AWOC figure. There isn't an AWOC figure that objectively I'm like, oh, that figure's not worth it. Like, I didn't pass on that. I have multiples of every single figure. I'm trying to think if there's any that I don't have. Oh, I only have 1 Thane and I only have 1 Vero Atlas. Or not, only 1 Thane and only 1 Tanger. They were too hard to sort of have represent different characters or whatever. So, Justin Mohan said, "How excited are you for the election tomorrow?" I don't know. Excited. I voted last week. I voted last weekend. So, going out with a bang. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just saying, like, the format is, I'm not 100% gonna be. I'm not gonna be panicking Saturday night coming up with thumbnails for Sunday's videos. That's the only difference. And Rob says about Pale, yeah, or secondary market like eBay or Mercari. I think Big Bad Toy Store still has some. So if you didn't get one, by all means, try to get one because they're not going to have that many left either. But and Red 5 says we come back every week for the AWOC teases. Yeah, I mean and we're still, like I said, I'm still gonna do that once a month. We'll still every 4th week. It's every 4th week on a Sunday. We're still gonna do that. Jeff Moore says, so far I've only gotten the cats from AWOC, but I backed the fox and rabbit guy. Nice. What I will say too, I'll say this, and then I'll sort of wrap up the draw, and I'll do the draw. Maybe I'll try to catch up with the comments first. SpiroToys.com, Animal Wars of the Kingdom are on sale, but the sale ends tonight. So if you have been sort of on the fence, you've been waiting to go and order a couple figures, Um, don't wait. Between my show and Brick Show, get over there and get an order in. Um, I want a larger home, not even for stuff, just a second bathroom. Fair enough. Fair enough. And Josh Brown says experiences are fleeting. Stuff is forever. Some stuff is. Some stuff the plastic breaks down and then people complain. Um, let's see. Brick says I'm jealous. I won an election. You guys got one, and we were like, we felt left out. So I guess that's why we had one. Yeah, I already voted. I did vote, outside of what I typically vote. But I'm not here to talk about politics from any country. I would potentially talk about Chandrillan politics or something like that, but that's a different Chunari politics. Um Anyways, should we just draw this? Did everybody get their comment in? So you have to comment in the chat. If I didn't mention that and you don't know how these work, you have to comment in the chat #serpent to be eligible for the draw. It looks like there's about 25 people watching and 12 in the draw. So if you don't want to win the snow serpent, that is fine. You don't have to enter. I'm just saying I'm gonna shut it down and do the draw in a minute here. Mr. Ryan Clark says I voted last week too. Alberto Morales, are you gonna get Ganesha? I didn't order Ganesha. If Ganesha is available either at Joe Fest or at Legion's Con, and I anticipate that it will be available at least at Legion's Con, I will probably pick it up. I did not order it, largely because it was like, I think it was $40 to ship it to me. And so I just thought, you know what? I'll just wait till I'm there. I could pick it up there and not pay the $40 and not wait for the shipping and all that kind of stuff. So if I see it at a convention, I'll pick it up. But I did not buy it. Okay, let's do the draw here. 12 people in the draw. Nobody added when I said, you got to comment. So let's just do the thing. There's not sound. I don't know why there isn't sound. Maybe there is, and I just don't know how to do it. Ray Paz wins the Snow Serpent. Ray Paz, reach out to me. Let me know your mailing address, and I will get that to you. I should probably write it down. Nah, you just got to reach out to me. I'm only doing 2 things. I could probably remember a couple names. Ray Pat says, I don't want it. Just curious what my luck is. Okay, let me draw it again then. Should I do that? Ray Paz, do you want me to draw it again and sort of give the next person a shot at it? Do you really not want it, Ray? That's fine. That's absolutely fine. Just let me know in the chat. Otherwise I will do the next draw. Or Ray Paz. Okay, I'll do this. Ray Paz, you don't want that. Do you want one of the AWOC figures? Let me know in the chat which one you want, and I'll roll again for the Snow Serpent. I'll just do it extra. I'll do an extra giveaway. I don't care. I will roll again for the Snow Serpent. But Ray, if you want one of these AWOC figures, let me know. Okay, I will draw again. I think this is how this works. I'll be honest, I don't know. So I think that's just you just hit the button again. Let's see. And we've got Mr. Ryan Clark for the Snow Serpent. Congrats, Mr. Ryan Clark. Assuming you want it. If you don't want it, let me know. And Ray Pass says, I have all the AWOC figures. I'm good. All right, that's fine. I'm not gonna force you. I'm not gonna force you to take a toy. Let's see. It would have been funny if Ray won again. It would have, but I think I've got it set that it actually removes entries. If you do. Rob says Ryan doesn't want it. Roll again. I will let Ryan tell me that he doesn't want it. Rob, do you need a snow serpent? Reach out to me. I think I might have another one. Mr. Ryan Clark said, yes, I definitely want it. I missed out on it the first time around. And I bought too many of them the first time around, apparently, because I just packed up. I packed up 3 and I still have another. I still have this one. So, Mr. Ryan Clark, reach out to me. Easiest is probably Instagram. All right. That is for the snow serpent. Next we will, okay, how do I exit this? Okay, I'm going to remove this for now as I try to figure this out, because I'm going to do another draw. And I'm going to do, okay. All right, let's do another one. I'm going to do the AWOC figures now in a separate, whoa, that's weird. I don't like that. Separate draw for AWOC. If you don't want an AWOC figure, that's fine. You can still enter, and then you can pick. You can pick anybody in the chat that you want to give it to, or you can have me spin it again. I don't. It's up to you. You're the winner. You get to decide. That's the rules. I will just mumble for a few minutes, and Rob, you got to do the hashtag. You got to do the hashtag if you want the AWOC. Rob, which one do you not have yet? You have all of these. I'm pretty sure we shipped these all to you over the course of like 37 orders in the last month or two. All right. Mr. Ryan Clark says, I don't want to be greedy, so I will abstain. Nah, go get in there, buddy. If you win, that's fine. As I said, if Ray wanted one of these, I was going to do 2. So if Ryan Clark wins a second figure, I'll just draw another figure. I don't care. I have too many figures. Just ask my wife. She's just trying to win figures from me now. She could probably just ask for them. She did. She has stolen figures from me before. Or appropriated them from me, I guess is maybe a better term. But yeah, Ryan Clark, get in there. I'm not. I wouldn't tell you can't. I don't have a few, and it's the builders. All right, Rob, if you win, let me know which builder you need. I got builders too, so I literally have like a pile of AWOC figures next to me. The 3 that I picked were just the most kind of like exciting ones or whatever. The ones that I thought people would want to win the most. But let's see. Amanda says, I have none. She has no AWOC figures. That's true. The kids all have AWOC figures. She doesn't have any because she hasn't asked for any. That's not true. She has asked for some. She's asked for the females. Every time Rob gets another AWOC, we get a cool custom to look at. That's not incorrect. But I do have too many. That's why I'm giving some of them away. Which ones did you pick? Oh, were you late? Did you miss what I said? All right, so I got a Vero Atlas, I got a Pale, and I got a Blight. You know, these are the ones that I thought people might want to win. And Blight, that's nope. That's Blight is signed by Jason. For anybody that is into that sort of thing. Larry's Geeky World. I'm giving away Vero Atlas. So I'm giving away 1, possibly 2 of these. But the options, it's a winner's choice. I've got Vero Atlas. I've got the now sold out Wave 1 Pale, and I have got the Blight from Wave 2 with Jason Bienvenu's signature down at the bottom there. Signed figures. I think they're all mint in box. I don't think I opened any of them. No, they're all good. They're all mint. I just finished eating dinner and logged on. Okay. Let's see. Brick says, "Oh, I want a Vero." You could have had one. Could have had one at WonderCon. You just had to ask. Okay, should we draw this thing and wrap this up? Yeah, let's do that. Let me bring back the screen where the magic happens. 19 entries. Thanos. You almost blew it there, Thanos. 19 entries. I'm gonna call it. Should I wait? Is there anybody else? Anybody else? Anyone? Let's see. Just a reminder, you do have to put hashtag AWOC in the comments to be eligible to win. I wish I had Ewoks to give away, but I would never give away Ewoks. I just love them too much. Let's see. Multiple entries don't change the stakes, so putting it in there a couple times doesn't make a difference. No, you do not get multiple entries for multiple comments, but helps the algorithm for the comments. Okay, let's draw this thing and wrap it up. Call it a day. Bring on the Ewoks. I want more Black Series Ewoks. If the Black Series does more Ewoks, then I'll buy more Black Series figures. Let's see. Okay, let's give her a spin. Beep boop beep boop 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 beep boop 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 boop. That's the Price is Right spinning noise. Rick Jones is the winner. Rick Jones, which is your pick, my friend? Which of the 3 figures that I listed do you want? Let me know in the comments, because I think you know what, I'll do one more draw. I'll give one more figure away, and then I'll call it a day. Rick Jones, yes, says, oh yeah. Which figure do you want, Rick? Let me know. Any minute now, Rick. The signed one. Okay, so Blight is going to Rick Jones. And we are going to spin one more time. I'll give away one more of these figures, and then we will call it a day, and I will set you all free. Okay, draw again. Here we go. It better not be Amanda. Rob Zamora. All right, Rob, which reach out to me, let me know which figure you want. If I have it, I will ship it to you. And we'll figure something out, because I do have like 5 or 6 different army builders on the floor next to me. I might even have a loose one. If I don't have a box one, I could probably send you a loose one, because I have multiples of everything. So so let me know which one you want, Rob, and yeah. Oh yeah, I guess I can't. Yeah, okay. So Rob, you want Vero? Okay. Vero Atlas is going to Rob some more. Perfect. Vero is getting hard to come by. Yes, and it will get harder and harder, because the stock on Vero Atlas is getting lower and lower. Christopher Bouchard says, let's do one more. Sure, let's do one more. Because Christopher Bouchard said so. we've got 17 entries. Okay, did you guys all got your names in? So let's do one more because I got it on my desk and because I can. So this is now for the now sold out direct from Spiro Toys Wave 1 Pale in Adventure Armor. We will spin the wheel one last time, and then we'll wrap things up. Beep boop beep boop boop boop. Red 5. Hey, Red 5, you get a pail. I'm pretty sure I'm certain you have this, but that's okay. You have another one now. Or as I said, if you want something else, let me know and I'll see if I can arrange it. Because I do have some others here on file. Johnson, if I win, you are signing it. Like I said, I've signed figures. I just always think it's a bit odd. But yeah, Red 5, reach out, send me a message in the chat, and we'll get you a figure. All right, that is all I had today, guys. It's been fun, as I said. I will be back next week. After that, who knows? It's been fun. Until we meet again. Bye, everybody.